Alright, so this is going to be my Game 2 recap of the 2025 NBA Finals. Let's get started. Okay, so, in Game 2, OKC ended up winning 123-107 for Indiana. So it was a pretty big win. They were up by over 20 points in this game at one point. Their biggest lead in this game was 23. Indiana's biggest lead was 3. So they pretty much dominated this game the entire way, which they kind of did as well in Game 1, except the Pacers had that fourth quarter comeback. But OKC did not let that fourth quarter comeback happen in this game. Obviously, that's a good thing if you're an OKC fan, and a bad thing if you're an Indiana fan. But looking at the box score here, or the team stats, I should say, OKC shot much better in this game. They shot 48% from the field and 38% from 3, while Indiana shot 45% from the field and 35% from 3. Just a little bit worse, 3% worse in both those categories, which isn't too bad at all for Indiana. But if you have not been paying attention to what I've been saying in every one of my videos, Indiana shot less than 36% from 3, which every time they've shot less than 36%, they have lost, and every time they shot above 36%, they have won. So Indiana missed that mark by just 1% to keep that statistic holding true. So again, Indiana not shooting amazing from 3 definitely hurt them. Also, turnovers in this game. I mean, it was a lot better for Indiana. They had 24 turnovers in Game 1, down to 15 in this game. OKC had 6 turnovers in Game 1, up to 13 in this game. So both teams are pretty even on the turnover margin, although OKC, was able to capitalize off those turnovers better. OKC had 14 points off of their 15 turnovers when they only had like 11 points off of 24 turnovers last game. So definitely capitalizing off those turnovers helped OKC quite a bit. Which is again one of the main points I was talking about in Game 1 for reasonings why OKC lost. Right, OKC capitalized on those turnovers a lot more this game than they did last game, and that obviously helped them win this game. Also, free throws. OKC made 10 more free throws than Indiana in this game, and they also shot 7 more. So getting those extra free throws obviously helped quite a bit. Shooting a little bit better from the field and from 3 obviously would have helped them there as well. And they did win the turnover battle as well. So pretty much every single battle here went to OKC. They had 4 more offensive rebounds as well, 8 more total rebounds. They had more steals. So OKC pretty much won every single facet of this game, which we can see that translated into that 16-point win. But if we're going to get into the individual box scores here, I'm going to start out with Indiana. They did have 7 different guys have double-digit points, so very much a group effort offensively once again for Indiana. But it was not quite to the extent as it has been in the past. These guys didn't shoot amazing. All right, Pascal Siakam had 15 points on 3 of 11 shooting. That's not very good, right? Aaron Nesmith was pretty good. Hit 4 of 8 from 3. But guys like Miles Turner was 1 of 5 from 3, right? He was not a 3-point threat. Tyrese Halliburton was one of the only guys that was pretty good from the field and from 3. You got Andrew Nembhard. He was 1 of 4 from 3. Off the bench, Indiana had guys like Benedict Mathurin who did pretty good, and TJ McConnell, but they also had Obi Toppin, who had 3 points on 1 of 8 shooting. Obi Toppin was a really good player in Game 1, but then in Game 2 he was not. 1 of 8 shooting is obviously not good at all. They did play a legitimate 10-man rotation, had 10 guys with double-digit minutes, but it did not seem to make that much of a difference for Indiana because, again, a lot of their bench guys weren't necessarily that effective, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Going into OKC, they had, 5 different guys with double-digit points in this game. They also had 2 guys off the bench over 18 points. Indiana did not have a single guy score over 17. Tyrese Halliburton was their leading scorer with 17 points. OKC had 4 different players outscore Tyrese Halliburton, and 2 bench players outscore Tyrese Halliburton, right? That's what really made the difference for OKC in this game. They played a really solid 8-man rotation. They had 8 different guys play at least 20 minutes in this game. Very much a 8-man heavy rotation. They had guys like Aaron Wiggins at 18 points off the bench on 5 of 8 from 3. He was amazing. Alex Caruso had 20 points on 4 of 8 threes off the bench. Those right there are 9 3-pointers from those 2 players. When you had Indiana hit 14 threes overall, and an Indiana starting lineup, they only hit 9 threes combined. So, obviously, pretty big disparity there. as far as three-pointers go, at least for the main guys from Indiana, and then just those two bench players for OKC. Other guys for OKC, Shea had 34 points. He had now broke the record for most points in their first two NBA Finals game with 72. That was really, really good. Right? They did start Cason Wallace in this game once again over Isaiah Hartenstein, but they evened out their minutes. Both of them played 22 minutes in this game. In game one, Cason Wallace played almost double the amount of minutes that Isaiah Hartenstein played, and it did not really work out. Even in their minutes out in this game made a lot more sense, and it did definitely work a lot better for them. Right? The one thing I would say about OKC, they need to, going forward, to continue to have this level of dominance, winning by 16 plus points, they're going to need more out of their starting lineup. Right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, again, was great. But guys like Jalen Williams was 5 for 14 in this game. Not great, right? Chet Holmgren was fine. But again, guys like Lu Dort and Cason Wallace only combined for 7 points, right? Their bench is scoring, and that's good, but I feel like they need another go-to star offensively from the starting lineup, which again, in this game, Jalen Williams had 19 points, so that is solid, but he did not shoot very good. He was 1 of 5 from 3 as well. Chet Holmgren was fine, but again, it was not, 15 points isn't a whole lot for your secondary star offensively. So I would say OKC needs to kind of get a little bit more out of Jalen Williams, at least better efficiency from him. But if they can continue to get this kind of production off of the bench from Alex Caruso and Aaron Wiggins, then they're not really going to be in any troubles here. So my original prediction of OKC in 6 looks a lot better after they won game 2. But I'm still very much leaning for this being a 7-game series, and I'm definitely going to be leaning towards OKC winning it. But going forward for Indiana, if they want to, continue, if they want to go and win, their games at home, they're going to have to shoot They're going to have to shoot above 36% from 3. That's been a staple for them all postseason long. They're also going to have to hold OKC to under 33 free throw attempts. That's a whole lot of free throw attempts, dude. They had 25 fouls. Right, that's not good. You need to get that to about 20 or under 20, because you cannot afford to get OKC to the free throw line that much, because that's kind of been their specialty. They've been very good at exploiting other teams and getting a whole bunch of foul calls. So Indiana needs to limit OKC's free throws. They need to get the three-point percentage up a little bit. They'll be doing pretty solid. OKC, they just need to get consistent scoring off of their bench, and you'd like Jalen Williams offensively to do a little bit better himself. But that's pretty much all I got to say about this game. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back later this week for a Game 3 recap, and goodbye.